Yeah, and Clint, let's talk a little bit about this, because the massive amount of pagers or beepers that were affected, right? Yesterday, thousands of them, and now we're seeing the possibility of these two-way radios being affected by it. This would be, Clint, more than just this Apollo Gold supply chain interception. If it's also in two-way radios, what's your reaction to this?
Yeah, Jose, this has been something that's been underway for quite some time. Well designed by the Israelis, if it is them. And what they've been able to do is really find two communication methods to really destroy those. So, I was reading some of the analysis that was questioning why the Israelis did this. If you think about it just from Hezbollah's perspective, a few weeks ago, as Rob said, moving away from cell phones because they were afraid they were being intercepted. Yesterday, losing 2,800 pagers and individuals wounded and dead. Now, today, losing walkie-talkies, they are disabling Hezbollah's ability to communicate in any way. This is, devastating for Hezbollah in terms of their own internal operations. If they wanted to do anything, let's say if there was an Israeli assault on the southern border, or if they wanted to organize their forces to do something inside Israel, there was some rumor that they were going to do retaliation. This really cripples their ability to do that. It's all hands on deck now for a second day. Also just points to the Israeli intelligence, if they pull this off, their complete intelligence on everything in terms of Hezbollah, how they communicate, and how to get into two different communication systems. So not the same vendor probably that provided the pagers is going to be the one providing walkie-talkies. Putting those explosives into all of these devices, that's a major operation. It takes quite a bit of time. Would be very difficult to keep concealed over a long time. And then when you see this just in succession, once, yesterday on the pager system, now on walkie-talkies, really pretends to, is this the first phases of a larger Israeli operation that might be to come?
And just thinking of what Raf was reporting, that in Israel there is a certain awe among many in Israel at the unbelievable craft work that the intelligence division was able to carry out. Just how difficult and how deep is something like this, Clint?
Yeah, it's international, Jose, to pull something like this off. They would have to know what communication systems and suppliers Hezbollah would be using and leaning on. They would have to put essentially placements or recruit people in each of these supply chains. That's a major undertaking. And then actual executing the operation in terms of if they're putting explosives in each of these devices. You can just imagine, Jose, nearly 3,000 pagers, maybe several hundred walkie-talkies. That's not something that just happens instantly. That's disassembling things, putting explosives in, programming, putting those back in, and then keeping them in a supply chain way that would not raise the suspicions of Hezbollah. So massive undertaking of their intelligence services, and this would really speak to a combination of human and signals intelligence like we've not really seen before.